4 debates away from 1 million naira.
Good day, honorable judges, or ever attentive audience.
That's the majority or co-debater.
We've crowned 3 I Beg to Differ debate champions.
My name is Tanvita Kaushik.
I'm Ruth Okocha. My name is Bella.
And if you want to be the 4th,
in fact, it even gives you a new global perspective.
The quest
Since 1998
begins
during the 2015 election.
now. The auditions for the next I Beg to Differ debate tournament are on. It's open to all secondary school students in Lagos aged between 12 and 16. Just go to www.nigeriainfo.fm and click on I Beg to Differ and follow the instructions. Auditions close 3 p.m. July 12th, 2022.
Welcome back to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
You're still listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 5:37 right now. And before the break, we talked about the Guber race in Rivers. Now let me take you to Kano. Like I told you before the break, the 2 frontrunners there appear to be current Deputy Governor Nasir Yusuf Gawuna of the APC and the NNPP's Abba Kabir Yusuf. And I also told you before the break that there's some confusion about the PDP's flag bearer, which we hopefully can clarify before the hour is up. Joining me to give us all the insights is our head of news for Cool FM, Wazobia FM, and Arewa Radio in Kano. Kolaole Omoni, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening to you. First things first, the PDP. First of all, we heard that Mohamed Abacha won the Guber primary. Then we heard that another primary was held by another faction, which Sadiq Wali won. INEC was present for the Abacha primary, but that attendance doesn't automatically mean that Abacha gets the flag. The deadline for submitting a candidate was June 17th. So can you clarify for us who INEC has recognized as the PDP flag bearer, if they've recognized anyone?
Yeah, as we speak right now, INEC recognizes Sani Abacha as a flag bearer of the People Democratic Party in Kano State.
Okay.
And the reason for that is, I think INEC witnessed that primary election. It was conducted at the PDP headquarters, Lugard House, here in Kano State, while that of the other primary is conducted. That one happened at Sani Abacha Youth Center, and it wasn't recognized anyway. So that of Sadiq Wali, they've been parading themselves as the guy has been parading himself, but it doesn't translate to what we can officially confirm to say is a candidate right now. Because prior to that of a deadline of June 17, the Sani Abacha faction have been able to confirm and they submitted the name and INEC recognized Sani Abacha as we speak right now.
Okay.
And since then, we've not been hearing probably they are pressing any further litigation. We've not heard from the other side. Maybe they are serving court notice or whatever so far.
Has the other faction accepted the outcome?
They haven't. They still believe that it's still part of the process. And as we speak right now, they have 2 factions. What led to that anyway is that they've been having intervention regarding the leadership of Shehu Wada Shagagi, who is the current PDP chairman in Kano State. They believe he is very close to that of former governor of Kano State, Rabi Musa Konkoso. And they believe, despite the fact that it's not defecting with Konkoso to NNPP, probably it may be a delayed tactics of a way of spoiling things for PDP before eventually join NNPP. And they believe that even if it remains there, it may end up working for NNPP eventually because they are like 5 and 6.
I see. How will this affect PDP's chances at the general election?
It might apart from the current situation where they are divided right now. The section of Konkoso to NNPP and accepting Konkoso as party leader in Kano State will definitely affect PDP and APC. And coupled with the current rancor between the factions, they now have two factions now in the state, it's complicating issues more for them. Because we understand the structure of Concourse in Kano State.
Okay.
With that structure alone, the moment it defected, it was massive. Most of the PDP guys defected, they followed him to that new party. And only people that remain were those people that are occupying the executive position of the party. And they are doing it strategically. And that was the reason why the Aminu Wale faction to believe they ran to the headquarters of the party then at the national level that we can maintain these guys. They will work for Concourse. They need to do the structure, the leadership of the party in Kano State. So that was the genesis of how they got that division in the first place.
Okay. Now I want to stay on that story, that Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso story. It's the biggest story in Kano politics when viewed from the outside. So the rise of the NMPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso bringing so many APC and PDP politicians to the party with him. He is a former governor. He is the leader of the Kwankwasia movement. But I want you to give those of us in Lagos some insights into the reasons behind this massive popularity that he enjoys, both among politicians and everyday people. Because you said something that I picked up. You said we all know the structure. Let's assume that a lot of people in Lagos do not. So tell us why he's so popular among the politicians and among everyday people in Kano.
Yeah, he has been in the system in the last 23 years.
Okay.
And like you rightly said, he was the governor in 1999 to 2003.
Right.
Before Shekarau defeated him when he attempted to the contest.
Right.
He came back again in 2011 and he completed his tenure. So with that one, he had that structure since then. And apart from that, he has some grassroots policies that if just imagine who is Asiwaju in Lagos, and you can just imagine what is happening here in Kano too.
Right.
That kind of structure, that kind of popularity, that's what he enjoys here.
Right.
He had some interventions in education. He sponsored some indigents that thought that could never even go to school. Many of them traveled out of the country. They graduated, they even had their master's degree and stuff like that.
Right.
So those kind of families, they were ready to even kill themselves for him. And apart from that, there are some certain interventions he did at grassroots that warranted people to keep following him. And he knows how to control crowds. He knows how to talk convincingly. And he's not even only doing the talking anyway. It's not that we are promoting his structure right now, but that's the kind of presence, that's the kind of structure he enjoys here. He hardly spends money, but people keep following him, even than those people that are pumping money for them. And another thing is that as we speak right now, whatever APC is parading as structure in Kano State was what the current governor inherited from his boss. So it's so difficult for him to be able to maintain it because most of the people that are even following the APC administration, they are just doing it to buy time. They believe that the CRB, the Alga, wherever he's going to, they are there. Many of them have experimented it by camping from the current party to where he is. The moment he ported almost 10 lawmakers at the State House of Assembly, they camp immediately. So many of them, they will still get that massive defection further than what we are even seeing right now. And mind you, apart from him even losing that election in 2003, immediately he lost the election, he was appointed as Minister of Defense.
Right.
So he has been in the system since that 1999 to date.
Right.
When he even lost the election again, when he came back, he did his 4 years. After doing the 4 years, he still went to the Senate as a senator before he participated in a PDP primaries in 2019 and Atiku defeated him.
Right.
Mind you, when he even contested for APC primary in 2015 too, he got second position. Only President Muhammadu Buhari led him that time before he eventually defected. Right. So the structure is here, not only even in Kano State, in the entire northwest region. He enjoys that structure that everybody, any politician that want to do whatever with him. In 2000, if you recall, in 2019, he almost, I'm using he almost, it wasn't on ballot paper, but his in-law was on ballot paper. He contested Abba Gida Gida. The influence of Konkoso was what led to that massive voting. They voted massively for Abba Gida Gida then, but we all knew what transpired after that run election, and APC had their way.
Let's stay on the in-law for a bit. I'm also hearing that the NMPP candidate is Kwankwaso's son-in-law, Abba Kabir Yusuf. He ran against Governor Ganduje in this race that you're talking about. And I need to know what you think what Kano thinks his chances are this time around. What are his chances looking like this time around against Ganduje's preferred successor?
Yeah, the chances to Kano people is very high in the sense that they couldn't even imagine that it didn't get it last time anyway. So it was very tough for them to just keep going like that because they felt he will win that election. Right now, the reason why he has a better chance, the governor is no longer there. His deputy, who is going, the governor that is now the rightful candidate, now they have divided. Many of the big waves of APC, they defected because of one particular condition. They believe that since 1999 to date, only Kano Central and Kano South, only Kano Central and Kano North have been ruling in Kano. Those from Kano South, they sidelined them and they've been agitating. That's one of the reasons why the current lawmaker and former speaker of Kano State, Kabiru Al-Salirum, defected from the party. We gave him an impression that it will be Kano South's turn this time around, but eventually they didn't get it. Many of them defected. The current candidate of APC in Kano did not even win his ward the last time they had the election in 2019. So the structure is not there for him. The influence is not that there for him. He was leveraging on that of APC's the candidate of the governor's influence. Mind you, as we speak right now, some of those things like the structure, they are moving massively back to NMPP. So what they enjoyed then, when they were united, it wasn't as bad as we speak right now. Many of those people that governor relied on, if you recall, a commissioner of local government then, that the tore his shirt when he was fighting in a Gamma election, during the rural election that time. He has a very good structure here. Even lately, governor had to go to his house to go and beg him not to defect. Because he felt because of what he did for the government then, he will be the rightful candidate this time around, but now the running mate. So the structure is not that great the way it was in 2019. And for people to have the impression that this guy is going this time around, they may not, the loyalty that he enjoyed then, may not be able to enjoy it this time around. So with that one, with the influence of Konkoso, Abba Gida Gida stand a better chance of reaching that ticket.
Interesting. What are the major issues that you believe are on the minds of Kano voters heading into this campaign season?
Yeah, the major issue, they believe that there's one thing about Kano when it has to do with cultural and tradition.
Okay.
One other factor that the reason why they've been expressing their reservation regarding the leadership of Gandhi is the fact that they believe that whatever you want through the governor, you can easily get it through his wife. And it's totally contrary to the belief, religious belief, traditional belief of Kano people that you get things through women and stuff like that. So they have that impression that if you need anything from the governor, just go to his wife. You will have your way. And because of that, they have this impression that they are not even being ruled by the governor himself. Instead, they are being ruled by his wife.
Oh.
So that's another way to just be like, oh, no, we can't continue like this. We want something fresh. We want something better. If you come to Kano as we speak right now, you can see some developmental projects within the city But when you go to the grassroots, nothing is happening there. And out of 44 local government, the highest in Nigeria that we have in Kano, 8 out of 44 are situated within the city. The remaining 36 are situated in grassroots. And for those people not to be enjoying the dividend of democracy as expected, is part of the reason why they believe they want a better opportunity this time around. And for the impression they have that Concourse used to be a grassroots competition, those are the kind of things they are thinking now that, okay, there's a need for them to have a better change. The impression of saying, no, this is his in-law, is coming to come and impose it on them, has never crossed the mind of any one of them. Nobody's talking about this.
I have one final question, and we have just 40 seconds, and then we have to wrap it up. But with Mohamed Abacha in the race, how much do you think his father's continued popularity in Kano, at least, will lend itself to support for PDP there?
That may be inconsequential, sincerely speaking, because almost all the elections I've witnessed in the last 14 years that I'm in Kano State, he has been participating in all the elections.
Okay.
It's either he's being the candidate of PDP or is running to another smaller political party, coming back to the party. It has always been back and forth like that. But sincerely speaking, it hasn't been a threat to anybody that's running in Kano State. That influence is no longer there.
Okay. Kolawole Moni is the head of news at Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Arewa Radio, Kano. Thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about what's happening in your state.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Lagos, you've heard the man. You've also heard our man from River State. And I want to hear your thoughts. But I'm going to take those thoughts after the news at 6. So 6:15, we'll talk about what you've heard today on The Big Hard Fact. We will also talk about the corruption allegations against Tinubu and Atiku as reported by Bloomberg. I shared that article with you between 3 and 4 today on The Big 3. This is why you should start listening from 3. We will also talk about Ekweremadu's arrest in the UK for attempted organ harvesting. We talked about that on the Big 3 as well. He's been denied bail, remanded in custody. Proceedings will resume July 7th. They found a homeless 15-year-old in Lagos, took him to the UK and tried to harvest his organ. And then we also talked about Senate defections to the NNPP and Labour Party. All of that, let's talk about it from 6:15 to 6:30 before Richie Bakari Yusuf takes over. But up next is the news at 6. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, Ezekwesili on social media. Don't go away.
We should be patient and pray to God that God is going to answer her prayer.
Please, this is not all about prayer. It's not like everything is not prayer. That is Nigerian mentality. It's not finding happiness in your home. You pray.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.